This segment is about anti-patterns, but what is an anti-pattern? Hello, this is Bry, and this is my channel. I discuss business analysis, business architecture, software development lifecycle, and agile frameworks and methodologies here. I invite you to listen. I was first exposed to Agile as a developer in 2003, then became a product owner. I've seen all sides of software development from business analysis, project and program management, quality assurance, and Scrum Master. Before delving into Agile frameworks, I worked with more traditional waterfall methods. I also worked with JAD and RAD. My introduction to Agile was through XP, Extreme Programming. This experience was with a startup when we followed the advice of Agile to a T. Unfortunately, since then, I've only been exposed to bastardized versions of it, bootleg Agile. This is where anti-patterns come in. Before we get going, if you appreciate this content and wish to support the channel, press like. Subscribe if you want to see more. Press the bell icon if you wish to be notified of new content. Comment if you agree or disagree with the content, or want me to discuss another aspect in this space. Let's get started. What compels you to talk about anti-patterns, you ask? In the last year or so, I keep seeing people misuse the term. I've even read blogs and books centered on anti-patterns, yet they've got it wrong. They don't understand the basic definition. Before I talk about anti-patterns, let's establish what's a pattern. A pattern is a routine or protocol that leads to a desired outcome. Perhaps it's a sewing pattern that will produce a dress. Perhaps it's an algorithm that will solve a logistics problem. Scrum is a framework that has a lightweight pattern. Follow it to achieve value sooner and not waste resources on unwanted features, fast fail. An anti-pattern is a pattern that on the surface appears to deliver positive results, except that it won't. It sounds like a good idea. You can often get buy-in, but the solution is suboptimal. Not only is it suboptimal, but results may be net negative. My first exposure to anti-patterns was around 2013. I wrote an article about it in 2014. Many managers want to practice agile methods, yet want the control waterfall offers. So they feel they can blend the two. You can't. It creates an anti-pattern. It sounds plausible. Let's take the best of both models and get even better results. The problem is that you end up taking the worst of both models. I won't recapitulate this article, but I'll link to it in the comments section and may produce a standalone segment. Where's the confusion then? This concept goes off the rails when some use anti-pattern to mean a pattern that may lead to a negative outcome, but they miss the ingredient that calls for the initial perception to be positive, that it will be a happy path. Only it isn't. Imagine a football team thinking they can field a team without a goalie. No one would think this is a good idea at the start. It is not an anti-pattern, it's just a bad idea. Here are some examples put forth as anti-patterns on scrum.org. Let's evaluate a few together. A product owner doesn't need to be available during a sprint. As many companies do this, it's a bad idea, not an anti-pattern. Who would defend this as a good idea? Someone may try to defend it on account of the product owner's workload, but they're operating on a wing and a prayer. PO clinging to tasks. Again, just a bad idea. It's antithetical to the Scrum Guide. Inflexible PO. The concept of agile is agility. If someone is being rigid, they are missing the point. This is just bad form and not an anti-pattern. Could the PO have a defense for bulldogging the acceptance criteria? Yes, but if it costs £100 to implement an additional £10 of value, the cost-benefit calculus is not in your favor. Delaying the acceptance of finished items. Yet again, this is not an anti-pattern. It leaves no room for remediation. It's just a bad idea. Misuse of sprint cancellation. The fact that misuse is part of the title should be enough to indicate that no one would consider this to be a good idea. Yet again, another run-of-the-mill bad idea. No sprint cancellation is the flip side of the coin. If the competitive landscape changes and the product owner doesn't cancel the sprint, she is responsible for the wasted money and resources. Yet again, not an anti-pattern. Do you disagree with any of the items I declared not to be an anti-pattern? There are more supposed anti-patterns on this list, but none of the first 6 captured are anti-patterns. As homework, review the other ones and let me know if they are anti-patterns or not. Meantime, I hope you now understand the difference between an anti-pattern and a bad idea. This has been Bry. If you appreciate this content and wish to support the channel, press like. Subscribe if you want to see more. Press the bell icon if you wish to be notified of new content. Comment if you agree or disagree with the content or want me to discuss another aspect in this space. Cheers!